That's the chief.
Hello and welcome back once again, my friends, pioneers of werewolves, divergence, and glitches, to another episode of the Daily Candle Close News. Hello. Certainly hope you're all doing well. Sending you much love and high vibrations out to wherever it is you are in the matrix and galaxy. Hearing double playback of myself, gotta figure out where that is real quick. Certainly know we're doing well, going live. Got a lot to talk about. Is this one yet? Gotta figure out where that is real quick. Certainly know. Alright, 1 second, you guys. You got a lot to talk about. I have no idea where that's at. There we go. Alright, appreciate that. What is going on? Alright, let's check the chat. Got Plato's bro here for the gems, coach. We're here for you, We're here for you, my guy. Much love, Here for you. We give the gems, inside the community. We've been giving the gems for a while now. I know I've been MIA from Facebook and YouTube and Rumble and a lot of the social medias, but as you can tell, we've been doing things in our life to get us to where we need to be, finally back home, new home. So back at it with the weekly live streams, and it just so happens to be this week that we're here on 4/7 seeing a 74K hit. We've been preparing you guys inside the Pioneer Academy and University at the dailycandleclosenews.com and inside the Discord, etc. Twice a week classes for this 74K for almost 6 months since back yonder ways. Okay, so it's like, did you do it again, coach? We did it again, pioneers, but we got a whole lot to talk about. What I really like is that we've fell perfectly inside this box. I mean, I drew this box out. It's been here for a while, you guys, and it's just like bam, bam, bang, bouncing from just slightly above the bottom of that box at 74,400-ish, somewhere around there. This long-term trend line that we've had on this chart going all the way back to, last year's August lows, that we gave you 6 months in advance, right? Or the lows that we got back in August of 2023, right after the Richard Nixon shock on the 15th that we told you about. We called it the Biden shock this year. And then obviously the bear market lows and bottoms of the 15K that we prepared you for a year in advance during Bitcoin's 15th year of its birthday. So currently 16 years old, gonna be 17 this October in 2025. So long-term retest of this trend line, and so far getting a bounce. 4-7 internationally written 7-4, and we're getting this sell-off today. I'm not surprised. It's right after, again, this next pivot point, this large X marks the spot on the screen for you all that we've been talking about, coming out of Mercury retrograde. And I know some are going to argue with that and say, But coach, it doesn't end until the 8th. But it's like anywhere you look online tells you it's like April 4th through, March 14th through uh, April 6th. So I'm just a little confused. Like there's like 4 different sites that I was looking at that showed me that. So I'm saying it's the 8th. Like it really doesn't fucking matter. Satoshi's Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday, with the end of Mercury retrograde, heading into this very powerful 7447 date. In case y'all didn't know, but that's kind of a very energetic energy, an energetic number tied to this 88, tied to this Trump character, right? And we're just coming out of his, tariff war that he just started. Not surprising, Trump giving us the same 47 as well. He's number 47, and on 47 we hit 74, as above so below, to the 47k low we gave you last year. Okay, so of course, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Still right in the middle of our cherry blossom season thesis. Okay, so again, tariff war giving us that very powerful 48. We'll be paying attention to that because tomorrow's 48, or that 33, that ties us into that, arsenic number, the deadliest element on the periodic table of elements, and we're kind of in these lows, or that some are going to scream Freemasonic number, that very transmutaic number, okay? But anyways, let the trade wars begin, and we're seeing the trade wars with that 117 highly tied to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That 72 we know we get in Bitcoin, and again, this happened on 4/3, tied to Lucifer, tied to Osiris, tied to Zeus, like I shared the night before in class with my pioneers, that the 4/3 date could be volatile, okay? But it was 72 days before the orange guy's birthday, Trump's birthday. So not surprised to see, again, 10 weeks, 2 days before Trump's birthday, we see this very powerful tariff war news 102, like the 10 weeks, 2 days before this man's birthday. Anyways, but some people are still shocked. I don't know. The trade wars gives us that very powerful 74, okay? The 74k we just hit and sprung from. I just shared with everybody in the world. In my, China's out here saying that, real Donald Trump. But anyways, I wonder what they mean. I was just sharing a post not too long ago with my pioneers that, maybe later, it could be getting time to spring, but that spring has to happen first, okay? So, what are we seeing in the charts? A lot to talk about. That low bit getting set. Is it the low? I don't know, but could this be that spring moment up out of the cherry blossom thesis into possibly higher highs? This falling wedge again that we've been sharing inside the Trading Academy is a measured move of 107 to 113k, a new all-time high. If we can see another continuation phase, an impulsive phase for this market, taking us into more of an expansion, more of what most will call price discovery or a blow off top, okay? But let's go back to the decode about all this nonsense that we've been seeing, okay? The trade wars giving us that very powerful 109. I don't know, kind of like the $109,000 we put in on the day the orange guy was inaugurated. Are you starting to see the connections to what is going on with these markets right now? Okay? The 109k tied to the trade wars we see now, okay? Not surprised, but again, the energy giving us 74. The energy we're seeing in the markets on 4-7 or internationally written 7-4 caused by number 47. I tie it all to an also deeper power, our friends at, well, what do you know? Skull and Bones University, because when we look at this and we date this back to December 12th, 2024 to the 4-3 date. It was 3 months and 22 days exactly. And why is this important, Coach? I don't know. Did it ding, 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 ding? Didn't Donald Trump ring the New York Stock Exchange bell on 12/12? I'll behave, though. But anyways, we can even tie it deeper to the... This is... Again, we've been talking about a narrative that would be a trigger event taking us into World War III before Trump's birthday. That's why we're trying to finish our book, Game of Nations, unveiling the parallels between sports and the precursors to World War III before Donald Trump's next birthday. Because the last war event was 10/7 a few years ago when Israel and Hamas went at it. And now we're getting these trade war narratives, okay? So I tied this 4-3 date to the anniversary of the Israel-Hamas war, and it's a very powerful 187 days. Murder, and we saw murder in the charts once we lost 83K, and I told my pioneers that could happen. Death, RIP, murder, all giving you that same connection to 8338. Not surprising, we're back at 79 now. Who turned 79 this year? The orange guy, that very powerful golden number. We just gave you the golden opportunity of accumulation, we called it. Okay, and here we are sitting back at 79K. I mean, do I have to continue breaking this down for you that this is all systematically designed to get you broke, lost, distracted, and confused, to have you sitting on the couch watching the news and wishing somebody else would tell you what to do? I'm just saying. It's all numbers at the end of the day. We're going to check the chat real quick, make sure we haven't lost nobody. We've been going absolutely ham. All right. Glad to see you still here, Plato's bro. We got Young Finest in the house. GameStop to the moon. BTC to infinity. Let us pray. I pray you go to infinity. I pray you become infinite. Let's go. Let's do it. Here we are. Back at it again. Quick drink of agua. All right. So, again, war. Ha! What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. War is not always bombs and bullets. It can be informational. It can be biological. It can be trade wars. It can be this war and that war. Again, we're in 2025. We gotta think with an open mind. It is 47 degrees. Shout out to the 74K on 4-7 at 47 degrees. I forgot to mention it was 47 degrees when I woke up this morning. And then when I saw we was at 74K on 4-7, I said, oh man, the numbers are playing with me. It's the tetragrammaton. You talking about Bitcoin to infinity, giving you that very powerful 47. We talking about, what is that? That is time, is it not? Time is infinite. Oh, you didn't get Coach started, did you? Why am I bringing this up? Because this is John bringing this up. You didn't know I am a pioneer. Bam. That same 107 that we was just bringing up in the decode, but I am part of the pioneer community. I make pioneers, giving you that very powerful 47. All tying us back into the tetragrammaton. Okay? A word known for God. Alright, so very powerful. The creator or creation itself. Okay, so know who you are. Know that you are a constant. Okay, in this realm. Alright? Remember that. Don't get me started. We do this for real. Alright? So, back at the charts, what we talking about? Bangers that we give out. You can call me the Banger Central University. Okay, we might as well change our name. We might as well go and get the website changed to Banger Central University instead of Daily Kendall Closed News Pioneer University. I'm just saying. All we do is give the ranges. The charts speak for themselves, you guys. We've been doing this, okay? Look at this daily bounce from the 322 EMA. Bam, bang. Only ones in the world giving it to you. We knew we were coming back to it on the daily. We were way far above it, okay? Hit that spiritual number of completion. Get a back test of 74K, last year's highs, okay? That's what TA is. Alright, just remember that. At the end of the day, sometimes less is more. Just fundamental TA of support and resistant ranges. Like, we knew we had levels we could not lose, like 96K. And then, well, what do you know, on the 223 date, February 23rd, we roll over. You know what I'm saying? Then we reject from that 95, 96K range right over into, well, more ranges that we gave you. 86, 89, 83K most recently that we knew we could not lose until, bam, bam, bang, into the 322 EMA on the daily. Okay, back testing the 74K, back testing March highs and the previous low we got right here before we rallied after the inauguration of the orange guy. Man, you can't make this stuff up. Anyways, I'll behave. It seems to all be centered around the orange guy. You know, he seems to have his thumb on the markets. But again, you can blame it on the tariff war and the trade wars we're seeing, or you can say, hey, Coach Abe gave us this 6 months ago. We could have de-risked on December 18th when he gave us the December 18th de-risking date right here. Okay, and then we could have de-risked right here on February 12th and February 20th when he gave us those 2 dates as well before we rolled over to here. And, well, we were all here for the Donald Trump inauguration party together. There were higher highs forming, lower lows on the RSI, bearish divergences like crazy on 2-hour charts and things. Like, it was common sense, you guys. You know what I'm saying? At least take some profits, right? I'm not saying sell it all, but change your life a little bit. You bought low, right? Didn't you? Did you not? To sell high? Anyways, rinse, repeat. That's the game of the markets. You're never going to sell the top. You're never going to buy the bottom. It's what you do with it, though. What you're given. Applied action. Take it. Become the master. Okay? So, bam. Alright. Anyways, getting back to this. Coming right back into our previous Wyckoff accumulation schematic that we gave you. Giving us our last spring structure that we called again. We gave you 6 months for this August 5th, August 4th, Barack Obama's birthday possible shakeout. Bam, bam, banger. Okay? So, kind of feeling a lot like the sentiment was back then with extreme fear all over the markets. Right now at 24. Extreme fear was just at 23 yesterday. I'm talking greedy, 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 greedy. I'm wanting to buy, not financial advice, but I'm trying to continue to change my fucking life, okay? I'm just saying, look at the new house. $350,000 home on $1 million property. What the fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's all about the land value anyway. It don't matter about the home. Anyways, so be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. Okay? So, right now, when everybody's shaking in their boots right now, running for the hills, I'm buying the dip, my friend. I'm not tripping. I don't date it. I don't hate it. I just trade it. Simply. So, point blank, period. Alright? So, let's continue to look at the charts that we've got for you today. What if we were to just draw another Wyckoff accumulation schematic and go, hey, bam, this was clearly our high, okay? So, bang. Wherever you want to put the buying climax, that's fine. But I'm going to put it right here at the first 108K that we gave you in a podcast with others even last year when we did a podcast with Waters Above Crypto, and we had this very specific chart drawn out for you all, and I haven't touched any of the drawings from last year, calling for the 47K lows that we could see possibly as we got ready to, well, elect number 47, the orange guy, right? And we ended up getting that, okay? And just like all these other predictions and possible projections that the chart was showing us that we could have got, I even left a note for everybody that said if we get here anywhere in this range can top us out. 103K. Bam, bam, bang. Okay? So remember that. But let's go back to that's where my buying climax is. Let's put our supply test right there. Okay? So supply, well, I ain't trying to do all that. Let me delete that. Sorry, sometimes it wants to control and copy two of them. There we go. And we're going to do another supply test right here. Alright. And we're going to ultimately, supply test right here. And we're going to ultimately call this a little short term up thrust after phase D. Okay? So, simply put, let's get our preliminary support in there. In our supply range that we broke out of. Bam. Right here. What if we were to draw this again, you guys? Alright. So we have our automatic rally. Okay. Right here, actually. Sign of weakness. Phase B. Probably even had one in phase C. Or phase D. Right here. Before you rolled over. Alright. And then your last points of supply. Right here. And right here. Okay. So what are we possibly forming right now? What did we just show you that we shared with you all in the Twitter post? A possible spring type of moment, okay? And if we want to fall back into 69K and retest the 2021 market highs, so be it. And if we want to fall back into 62 and 64K and retest the institutional highs of April, wow, 4 years ago, would that be a 4-year delta? Back to highs of April to turning it into lows this April? Wouldn't be nothing surprising. We can't go straight up. The healthy pullback, retest, better to get it now than later, okay? Might still get it later. But anyways, what I'm saying is, this is looking kind of springy. Like, I want to just dang near call a short squeeze coming out of this. But we got to make sure the bottoming is in, okay? We've got to make sure the lows are through. Daily's reset, but the weekly isn't. Could this take more time? Okay? Give it a few more days, another week or so. The 12th, the next full moon, the first full moon of spring, could bring us a little bit lower, okay? And then we spring out of that and we plant ourselves a very good crop to blossom with at a cherry blossom season, okay? That's where this ends, on the 10th, okay? So let's remember that, all right? I know when you hear that word blossom, you're expecting, or that word spring, you're expecting to shoot up, but sometimes you've got to plant yourself before you can jump. You've got to plant yourself before you can grow, okay? Before you can blossom. And this is planting, falling wedge action. I've even shared with my pioneers, we are in this falling wedge. What do prices do? They fall, period. Okay, so remember that. All right, so is the spring done, or are we gonna fall back into possibly retesting? Where's that chart? Retesting this green dotted line of 62 to 64K, the institutional highs of April 4 years ago, the 4-year delta that we were just talking about. Again, it's something that I've broken down, that every single cycle we always come back and retest the previous cycle's 1618. This would be the third time that we would complete this in the history of Bitcoin, because I'm not counting this time back here. First 1618 back test in 2015. Second 1618 golden ratio back test in C19 in 2020. Okay, so that gave us a new 1618 that we finally double topped at, triple topped at for 8 months, and now we can come back and truly treat as support. I don't know, but for me, that would be a banger of an opportunity. Okay, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're giving it to you that it might not come in. But to me, we got a fucked up batting average, and you can put us against your best out there that do this little crypto bullshit at daily and weekly. And I don't care who they are, but they not like us. Okay, so let's remember that. Check the chat again. Make sure we're doing well. Yo, shout out to the 5 people watching with the 4 likes, man. Let's get that up one more, please, and thank you. I appreciate that. You ain't got to, but you know, it means a lot. The chat ain't came back up. I'm trying to see if I'm caught up. But anyways, banger if we get this 62 to 64K on, let's say, a liquidation event, okay? Something very, shaky. Something that brings this fear and greed index all the way down to the single digits or 10 or something, okay? So we will see, all right? But yeah. Also, there was one more connection that I forgot to add earlier, and I just remembered it just now. The 310th day of last year was election day, the day Donald Trump was, elected, and, the markets went straight to 88K. But anyways, that was 149 days prior to the, collapse we just saw, or black swan event, whatever you want to call it. It was just a back test of 74K that we've been preparing you for 6-7 months now going on. So anyway, not surprising, 149 is again tied to our pals at Skull and Bones. So just more confirmation that this, whole entire bull run has been ran on connections to Skull and Bones. It started in the 223 year. It hit 109K top Skull and Bones' birthday is October 9th, 10/9. Anyways, we sold off from February 23rd this year, 223 date, into lows of 322 before bouncing again, and now into these lows 3 months and 22 days before Donald Trump's next birthday. So, you just can't make this stuff. I'm sorry, 3 months and 22 days after the orange guy rang the bell. I'm sorry, but you just can't make this up. We just keep finding these riddled connections to it. I still have a possible 149k top, but we have to get past that 117 and 128k range first, and we even got to get there. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk about that when we break 96 again. So yeah, as long as we can treat 76k as the bottom is what I wanted to get at, and as support right here, then I'm not really too interested in retesting lower than 74k unless it is a wick. Okay, that's bought up very quickly back up into, let's say, that 69 to 74k range, somewhere within there, and we're holding daily closes above that. All right, so very important. On to the next one, you guys. 1, not good. 2, not good. 3, the world may never know, right? So here we are. We gave you the 3 scenarios. I'm still truly not worried, because of the daily, reset on the RSI, the bullish divergence that we've recently got, that we're still arguably getting from this low to this one right here. Again, we got to see if this is concrete or if it's going to push down 72 to 69k, something like that, and then bounce. Only time will tell. We can even push up here, and then I'd say come back to that 79k range and treat it as support. Say we push up to 93 or even 87 to 89k, and then come back to 79k. That could still be looking pretty healthy as a bottoming structure. We don't necessarily have to go lower. Okay, what is my RSI looking like? Am I then setting a lower low on the RSI but setting a higher high in price action, forming some kind of divergence? Or is it a lower low like we were talking about in price and a higher high in the RSI? Some kind of divergence. Give me some kind of mismatch here is what I'm looking for. But as long as this holds, obviously, then scenario 3 could be playing out right here. We talked about that. Also, we did talk about the retest of this green dotted line, the 62 to 64k. But I was also, I don't know of anybody else. Like, I don't watch anybody no more. I work 2 jobs now, homeschool my son. I try to, take care of my pioneers twice a week and throughout the week, But I was the only one that I knew that was just pulling a fib from this ETF sell-off. Like, I just couldn't keep ignoring it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a critical moment for the entire cryptocurrency sector. Futures in 2017 topped the market, so I figured, fuck, man, why not ETF this year? But anyways, I pulled a fib from it, and it gave us this 4.236 that we tapped twice at that, again, that very powerful, roughly 103k range that we were talking about. And, well, we've just been capitulating ever since. So if we were to retest this 1618 at around that 56k, because it got very violent and then got bought at back up above 62, 64, then I wouldn't be mad neither. I would keep using this as a pivot point. But that's kind of like hypothetical right now. Let's see what happens right here, because this is, again, I'm the only one in the world pulling a fib from right here right now, so it might not even fucking matter, right? But if it does, I'll shut the fuck up. Anyways, here we are, filling the 77k gap that we had talked about, One of these charts had it on there, or I might not have pulled it up. But we had talked about it at some point back in here when we had gapped up after the, inauguration of Trump. The election of Trump, the orange guy. And now here we are trading back into this range above the 223 EMA. Okay, now pay attention. This is the CME chart. Okay, so we haven't necessarily hit the 322 at 72K on CME. We need to see what happens right here the next few days. Okay, does CME trade lower, bringing the rest of the market down with it, or does it catch up with it? One of the two. 74.7. Pretty sure we hit some charts at 74.4. So either way, we've got another gap if we look at the 2 hour. Okay, so we've completely filled this gap, but now look at this one that we can trade right back up into, and then possibly either roll over or trade up in here, roll over from the 223, 322 EMAs on the 2 hour time frame. We keep getting rejected from them. We keep getting rejected from them. So it's just something we need to pay attention to. Or are we going to hold them and start trading our way back up into that, mid-April time period, past cherry blossom season, where we can see that historical reach up for prices in the markets, leading us into Mayday, sell in May and walk away. Again, we're leading into some very powerful time frames in April. This is so much more than reading charts and TA and following your favorite YouTuber, you guys. Again, I've been sharing this stuff for years, okay? Palm Sunday is right after the full moon, or tied basically into the full moon of this month, the first full moon of spring. Go and do your research on what this means, the pink moon, what ancestors used to believe it to be, okay? So remember that, all right? And it's Palm Sunday this year. I don't know. Palm trees are pretty fucking tall. Anyways, do we see green streams? I don't know. But only time will tell. I can see high volatility coming around this time period. It's also tied into the Passover, a major Jewish holiday. And Jews run the financial system. Or have a very large, hand in the pot. Alright, is all I'm going to say. So again, this is marking the Sunday before Easter, or what we could call Resurrection Sunday. We're coming through Ramadan. We're coming through Lent and Ash Wednesday. Okay, all these fasting time periods. And in case you couldn't tell, the market's been fasting. Okay, so very important. We've got to make these connections and continue to pay attention. Is this the time period where we can start to resurrect ourselves back out of this downtrend into the bull, Taurus, the season of the bulls? Your boy here, April 26th, born a bull. I'm a triple Taurus. Shout out to Lisa Cleveland. All right. But also, what is happening throughout all of this? Tax season. Did anybody catching what's really going on right here? Why we're in the position we're in with the markets right now, leading into the time period we're in. You know what I'm saying? I'll behave. I'll just leave it at that, There's still so much more to talk about, like the 21st, 22nd microstructure reset, as we transition out of Aries and into the bull, right? Or the 27th, the 29th new moon, whatever it is this month, and then the end of Beltane leading into Mayday, sell in May, walk away. Remember to return in September, and may September shine like gold come December. Man, I really hope you're going to the dailycandleclosenews.com, where we invest and strive and investing in tomorrow's leaders and signing up for class. to stay with us Tuesdays and Friday nights to be prepared for what happens next, because for 6 months they've been ready for this 74K low and they're buying the fucking dip. You know what I'm saying? They're changing their lives. What are you doing? Are you the next pioneer of crypto, or are you still sitting on the couch waiting on a fucking savior? Save yourself today. I'm challenging. I'm not like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to come out here and give you a 1,000-hour little fucking 100 video little course. No, I'm going to come in. I'm going to be with you every night. We're going to do the work. And if you don't take notes and you don't come in and you don't ask questions and you don't do the work in the off time, then you're not going to succeed. I'm going to challenge you like that. Okay? So remember that. Bam, bam, banger. Where's my... I lost my tabs. I'm doing too much. Where my chat at? Where we at, chat? Refresh this, see if my chat comes back. Man, my chat ain't came back yet. It says I got people watching, nobody in the chat. And I'm not on StreamYard tonight, so I can't look at my chat through StreamYard. But I can pull up my phone. Oh, we got a visitor from Gadsden, Alabama. Oh, from Grant. My bad. That's me. Thought we had somebody from remote Etowah County, man. I can view the chat on my phone.
What were you doing other than having your thumb up your big fucking ass during the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the world? What were you fucking doing? Fuck all, nothing. That's what most of you will tell them.
Anyway, my finger had hit that old video, and it's the perfect time.
The world. What were you fucking doing? Fuck all, nothing.
Alright, live chat. Rachel P, we got Paws in the house. Hey, what up? Okay, so I'm caught up on the chat. That's what's up. I just had to get my phone out to see. Alright. We got a few more minutes. We'll hang out with you guys, man. I just wanted to come out. I just wanted to shoot the shit. I just wanted to talk about the 47K or 74K lows we were getting. You know, decode it a little bit. Share some of my charts, like this one right here. Oh man. Shit can get dicey if we are to lose this range and we start closing below this. I'm telling you, this 322 EMA compiled with this 0.5 fib channel, it can get dicey. But I'd like to start working our way back up towards that 83 and then that 86 to 93K 96K range. Only time will tell what happens though. But just crazy times to be alive. The sentiment in the market. We were just talking in the classes, the last few classes for Ethereum, going to possibly that $1,400-1,500, that $1,200-1,300 range, and here we are, wicking into $1,400, basically right above $1,300. That's basically your $1,300, and then we can still take a leg lower, you guys. I still think we can. Don't quote me on this, but Ethereum just has been one of this year's underperformers, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it hit anywhere from that, I would say $700 to $900 range, and eat some more of this up. Somewhere back in here. Yeah, even if it's just more of that 1100-1200. I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if Bitcoin takes another leg down, if Ethereum does as well. Just bringing your altcoins down even more. But only time will tell. Give us a few days. Let's see what the volume looks like, for the entire market. XRP, though, We were literally just out here yesterday, you guys, sharing inside the Discord a little 3% move. We were up here still, kind of at that 198 range, just losing it basically. And I shared a 3% move to the 223 EMA. I shared a 16% move to the 322 EMA. Sure enough, we hit the 16% move to the 322 EMA and bounced right back up and have held every candle above it since. So, not surprised. Okay, I've been adamant about if we retest this range, I'm buying, not financial advice, but I just sold $3.30 XRP to buy a home. You know what I'm saying? Now with my profits, I'm buying back in. Even if it's not the lows, I can still dollar cost average. I got 2 jobs. I got profits. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do this. Alright, if it goes lower, I'm gonna buy more. You know what I'm saying? It's changed my life. I'm gonna stick with my guns, right? So, with that being said, man, the floor is open for any questions about all the nonsense we've been seeing. Or just any cryptos you'd like to go over real quick before we get off here. Yeah, this, that, and the third. But yeah, I got my chat open. Oh, it's back on my computer now too. Yo. Oh, that's my son's account. Can we go over XCN? Absolutely. Oh. Alright. So I'm obviously very bullish on Onyx, the XCN project. I got it at a good price, where I could get 100,000 for $100 pretty easily, So I've been very bullish on it ever since. The chart for me was screaming price discovery from inception to the downside, and then sideways trading up until about right here where we got in December, January 2023, the start of 2024, right after this recent rally, right? So I knew that we had obviously bottomed and that we were coming out of price discovery to the downside, probably to never ever see these lows right here again. Okay, so I started preaching to my community. Shout out to Yahuda, Nathan Modern Sword, for giving this to us in videos and stuff together, where we were talking about it behind the scenes, and then we delivered it thanks to these gentlemen. And anyways, it's been a pretty good performer for a sense. What we knew though was on the daily time frame, we had to eventually start closing above this yellow EMA, which is your 223, and this blue EMA, which is your 322 on the daily time frame, but also holding daily closes above the 236 fib channel. Okay, from swing high to swing low, looking at a logarithmic chart with log settings set on our fibs. Okay, so that gave us a confirmation that once the 223 was closed above and the 322 was closed above, with price action and daily candles getting closed above the 236, we could then start making our way towards the golden pocket. Bam, bam, bang, bang, bang. And that's where we went. Okay, so let's do it all again. We're holding support of the 322. Okay, we're getting rejected now from the 223. Okay, so once we start closing back above that, that's when we need to then break the 21. Then get back above this 89 EMA, or simply this 0.5 fib, which is 1 cent, almost 0.12 cents. Okay, we got to come out of this fallen wedge that we should eventually either get a relief rally and then come lower, or just break out of. My bet is we get a relief rally and then possibly come lower. Not financial advice, but there's still some opportunity to retest these areas back here. And even if we break back up and then back down in the 236 and retest that, it is fine. Okay, it just means this chart needs more time. Okay, but eventually I have this 1.618 sometime in the future potentially getting hit at $5.50. So whether or not it's now out of this breakout pullback banger, or if it's, later, only time will tell. But I could be wrong. But that'd be a 57,000% increase. So just from right here where we are right now, if we were to fall back down, you're gonna get rich. If you're not already positioned in this enough to do that. I know some are. I know some that have done very well in it already. So my biggest thing was ultimately getting people to understand that we were coming here, that this could be all we do, at least for now. You know what I'm saying? Even possibly in this cycle again, because that could be it. We get a relief rally to this 618 golden pocket, and then we reject back down, and then it takes another year or two to move up. So yeah, right now I would just continue watching it. This low's got to be coming in soon for that relief rally, or the rest of the market's just going to tank even more. Things like this that have reset on the daily after a long drawn out multiple month downtrend, I would like to think they at least get a short-term rally first before more downside, because you can't go straight down unless you do this. And we're not doing that. We're not set up to do that. We're set up to take at least a leg up, or at least have a relief rally, a potential bull trap into some lows. So that's what I'm going to watch for right now. Alright, we got anything else we're going to go over tonight, you guys? Any questions? Anybody seen anything that we didn't talk about that I'm missing? Obviously, I don't even know what all we talked about tonight, you guys. To be honest, I got off my second job last night at 11 p.m., got home by 11:40, got my son's stuff and my stuff ready for the day, ate me a salad, took care of some things around the house, got me a little bit of sleep, and then was right back up this morning at 3 o'clock, ready to start getting ready for the day, go to work. So yeah, I just know I told people at work today I was going to do a YouTube live video for the first time in a minute, and I was going to be going ham. And I'm pretty sure I did that. We'll rewatch it. We always do, but we'll see what all we talked about. What we didn't, we'll continue to bring up, maybe in next week's YouTube, or if we got a chance to do one in a few days, we'll get on and we'll do another one. As you can tell, we're set up ready to be here all the time now, and have been for the community twice a week in classes and stuff, so 7 people watching. Hopefully that's 7 likes we got going on. Get this out, share it out, you know what I'm saying, let people understand what we're doing here, trying to keep you informed, at least with the levels to break, the levels we have to hold, and things in that. At least by doing these things recently that I've been doing, it allows people to understand market flow, understand if price does this, then I need to do that, the if and whens of trading, because I've been on that move, that life changed the last year. Hopefully now getting into a more structured settlement. To be back in here professionally with you all on a more weekly basis, etc. At least with the you YouTubers out there. Hey chat, all you chatters. But yeah, my pioneers, they are my glue though, so they get my time, man. My mom been telling me for years, know your worth. She said I've been giving all my stuff out for free. That I gotta know my worth, man. So I've kind of just been knowing my worth by sticking with those who support me the most. You know what I'm saying? Who invest in me. I've been investing in them more, is all. So with that being said, you guys, if there's no other questions, no other cryptos you guys want to go over, I'm gonna get off here, hang out with the cat, hang out with my son for a little bit. Kitty. I swore I just heard her. But anyways, get ready to just relax and lay it down, man, and do this all over again tomorrow. We got class tomorrow night, by the way. So you can make your first class ever if you haven't attended class before. I even try to once a month hold a open house meeting, or just sometimes just randomly drop the Zoom link in the Discord and just say here. If you're free, jump on, right? Tomorrow night could be your first class where you can start getting the inside scoop on these more important things that we discuss here and go over inside the the community. So I hear that cat now. Yeah, she heard me talking about her. But I see the chat ain't got nothing new on it, man. So I'm headed out, you guys. I really appreciate y'all watching for the last hour or so. It's been real. I've told y'all time and time again, Coach Abe's lost his everything 3 times in crypto. This is 4th time in crypto, and as you can all tell, new house, new car. I vowed to make sure I never did that again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm leading by example by just trying to continually preach the importances of taking your profits, taking your money and running, etc., and playing this game of investing in whatever again. Because 2 months ago you wouldn't have thought we were at 81, 79, 74k. You wouldn't have thought we were getting those opportunities. I was called a fucking fool for even bringing it up. Pretty sure a lot of my following, had left and stuff for, even mention it. There's a lot of inactive members in the Discord now, over the last years because of some of the calls we've been making. And lo and behold, it just takes time, you guys. At the end of the day, sometimes you just, not just saying these things, hearing myself talk, man. Got 12 fucking years of crypto chart reading under my belt, of crypto investing, figuring out the do's and the don'ts and what not to do's and shit. So I'm kind of glad I don't have 10,000, 100,000 followers or whatever. I'm kind of glad I just got my little 400. You know what I'm saying? I'm truly glad that I'm not popular, because again, my track record I think speaks for itself. If you truly pay attention to the work, or if you're truly here, you're winning. Winning like no other community in the world. And it's just something I guess I can be proud of at the end of the day. But I say it like that because I know I still got work to do, right? We're not done yet. We strive to be great. We strive to be the best. So yeah. All right, you guys. With that being said, I'm headed out. I hear my son's up there playing around, so I'm gonna go see what he's doing, and we're gonna enjoy the rest of the night here. But alright, Much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in the Matrix. Coach A, the Master Chief of Crypto 117, signing out once again, my friends, pioneers, awakened souls, werewolves, divergence, and glitches. I will see you again, my friends, in the next episode.